We live our lives burdened by hardships and threats, burdened by terror, by alienation, by discrimination, by division and strife, and the census serves to collect all of these broken dreams, all the consequences of unfulfilled promises, and tabulate it for future policy makers. But this is not an activity abstract from or immune to society. The biases that find their way into society also find their way into this exercise. In past several years, a lot of problems have recurred, such as the under and oft misrepresentation of women. However, with the coming of the war on terror, new obstacles will now be encountered by the enumerators. These are pertinent questions that warrant further debate. The 1998 census established that Pakistan has more men than women, with 925 females per 1,000 men. However, in recent years, this has changed.
The very word which has gained currency over the period of the last 60 years, the very title of the consensus is Mardam Shumari, which speaks volumes of a mindset which is essentially anti-women in Pakistan.
According to estimates from studies conducted by the United Nations and USA think tanks, this ratio has improved from 108.5 men per 100 women to 104 men. Furthermore, the percentage of households with female heads has increased over the years. According to the Federal Bureau of Statistics, this number increased from 6.8% to 8.1% only between 1996 and 2002. Unfortunately, the quality of life for women has not improved commensurate to their numerical strength, and the enumerators aren't the ones to blame for this misrepresentation. The question is, how do you get someone to identify herself as the head of a household when even she doesn't see herself as such?
I think a lot of women will find it very difficult to recognize themselves as heads of households, because it is cultural conditioning of centuries, and they might even see it as a kind of ill omen to say that, are you trying to tell me my husband or my father or X or Y is dead?
Thankfully, the Census Bureau has grown to understand this concern.
The enumerator has been asked to count all the people, including the females, and especially this has been recorded on the questionnaire and has been repeatedly asked to the enumerator to ensure that the females and the children, which are often ignored, they are to be included.
The other major concern is regarding the people residing in or migrating from the troubled areas of the country. The northern parts of Pakistan are still considered to be troubled areas, and the situation is similarly tense in certain areas of Balochistan. The question is, can there be sufficient and accurate policy structuring for these troubled areas without up-to-date information regarding how many people live there to begin with?
Fata, Pata or Balochistan for that matter, in certain settled areas of NWFP, there are serious law and order situations there. And coupled with the whole new genie called Taliban, I wonder how would you conduct, how would the enumerators conduct census there until the society is not really involved in it.
But the Census Bureau says that they have a plan.
People who have been displaced, as internally displaced on account of certain troubles, they will be asked the original place of their birth. So, but they will be counted. Wherever they are, they will be counted.
Another growing concern is regarding the capability of the census to marginalize or alienate people.
If there's an occupational group, for instance, or there's an ethnic group which is claiming for political rights, census will be very strategically done in order to not to upset the existing power balance, not to upset the status quo in the country.
So it seems that the census will be an extremely effective exercise to create an us versus them divide against the extremist elements in the area. But what about the people who are the inheritors of the collateral damage? Though Prime Minister Yusuf Raza Gilani has announced the return of the IDPs, but an area ravaged by war will take a long time to be habitable again. Not only does this have psychological implications, but also political repercussions.
We can't be certain that these displaced people will be back home by the time the census actually takes place. Some may be, some may not be. Probably the bulk will not be, and therefore special arrangements will be required to ensure that they are covered by the census.
However, the Census Bureau says that they will overcome all obstacles.
All those areas where the accessibility is not possible, maybe we have to have the enumeration done only after the things have settled, and this can be even after the census.
But that brings us right back to the original question. How do you structure policy for these troubled areas?